I've never had it this great conditions this early in December. We're at Cache Creek and it's going to be fast, it's going to be fun, and we have got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Look at this track. So fast, so fun, so grippy. Woo! Beautiful day. Comes the sun. All right, last week was a lot about base training, and we're gonna kind of stick on that theme, but talk about the one thing that can help injury prevention, can help performance, can help you with your form, your cadence, developing base training, developing base fitness. So much goes into this that is beneficial, but it's not very sexy. It's frequency and consistency. So we're going to talk about how this can help you in your running. All right, it's the first time this winter for the stairs. Basically almost straight up. Let's see if I can run it in the snow. Ugh. It's easier going up than coming down though. It's nice and tacky. People ask me all the time, what do I wear when I run on the snow? Well, I just wear deep luggage shoes. It's very tacky, very sticky snow, nice and cold, and very grippy. Woo! And we're gonna pop out up here with some sun, hopefully. Nice. It's awesome. Hands down, the best run so far this December. We're gonna stay on the trail as long as possible. Then we're gonna be spit out on the Nordic track and hit some sun. Nice strength workout today. A lot of ups and downs. Basically just on one of the more popular trails in the summer. It's just up and down. Good strength day. So why is frequency and consistency so important? Anything athletic, anything skill oriented thrives on repetition and frequency. For learning a skill, repetition, repetition, repetition is the key. So our running is no different. For us to thrive, for us to get better, we need consistency, but maybe more importantly, I guess it's just a different way of saying consistency, is what I like to say. There's the sun. Frequency, meaning how often do you run? You know, it's why the Kenyans run 3 times a day, every day. It's the frequency. I'm not saying you should do that, but we might look to alter our philosophy of how we orchestrate our weekly frequency of doing maybe less more often. I often have comments and questions from runners saying, hey, I can't run every day. My legs can't handle it, or my knees can't handle it. Well, maybe ask yourself, are you running too much on any given day? Maybe scale it back from your 6 to 10 miles that you think you have to get in to 2 or 3 and do it more frequently. See how that helps your body feel. If you're a beginning runner, who's worried about running too much, again, maybe get out of your head and think you've got to get 30 minutes in, but then go 2 or 3 days between running because your body's sore. Do a mile. Do half a mile every day. Reduce what you're doing and do it more frequently. So for beginners, I would love to see you try 5, 6, 7 days of running, but of much reduced time. Again, rather than going 3 days a week for 45 minutes, go 5, 6, 7 days for 15, 20 minutes. It's that frequency that's key. I have a 1999 Volkswagen camper van, and especially in the winter, I try to run it as frequently as I can. It's a secondary vehicle, so it doesn't get used daily, but I try to use it daily or as much as possible to allow it just runs better when it runs more frequently. If I let it go, 5, 6, 7 days a week, especially in the cold, without being run, it has a very hard time to get going. And sometimes the battery will even die. So think of your body as just like the Volkswagen van. It loves frequency. It thrives on frequency. Okay? For you veteran runners who, again, maybe get stuck in our ways, what's the most dreaded thing that happens for veteran runners is through time, they get stuck in their ways. Okay? They don't shock the body. We've talked about that. They consistently do what's worked in the past, and through time, that kind of gets us in a rut. So maybe instead of having a few really long days and then a lot of shorter days, you turn that around and have a lot more or more frequent, moderately long days. And do just the opposite of maybe what you're doing and see how that helps your economy. What's your economy? Our economy is training our body to be able to work easier. And that's what frequency does. It trains economy. We're able to work easier and easier. Okay? That's key for running. It is just amazing today. Best conditions ever. I shouldn't say that. I always say that every year, but it's so good. So in the winter, I rely a little bit more on more frequent, moderately long runs rather than rely on one big, long, traditional run each week. So you veterans out there, if you're always trying to rely on that one long run weekly, look to change it up. Think about maybe relying on more frequent, moderately long runs, and then sprinkle in your long run throughout the program, maybe every third week, as you approach your race based on the distance of the race. If we relate this to cadence and run form, think about cadence. We want to increase our frequency. We want to give our legs more opportunity to strike the ground to move forward. And your weekly frequency is no different. Give yourself more opportunity to go forward, to run, just like our cadence. If we have low cadence and we're spending a lot of time on the ground, we're not going anywhere. What's all this starting to sound like? It's starting to sound like the philosophy or the strategy of intervals. And what's the strategy of intervals? Instead of taking a fixed, steady amount of time of running, you're breaking it up into shorter, more higher quality, faster intervals, so the cumulative time is faster. For example, instead of a 20-minute steady, moderate run, you're doing 4 by 5 minute intervals to achieve that 20 minutes at a much faster, higher quality effort within those 5 minutes. So again, cumulatively, you're doing higher quality and still achieving the 20 minutes. Now let's look at Christopher McDougall. It's cold out here. It's hard to talk. Christopher McDougall, author of Born to Run. He was broken down. He was injured. He had poor economy. He had poor efficiency. He had poor form. He had poor endurance. But he's trying to do the same thing over and over. So when I coached him, what do we have to do for this 50-mile race in the Copper Canyon? We didn't have a lot of time to rely on that really long run that we're so used to traditionally thinking about. So I treated every day as an interval. So instead of, again, relying on that long run where he would require a lot of recovery and probably break down because he wasn't ready for it, but we were crunched for time, I did more moderately long runs throughout the week. He ran twice a day when he could. Okay, every day was treated as an interval, meaning every day was just a little bit higher quality, more efficient, more economy than, again, relying on that just one long run to achieve his endurance. And he thrived in this environment. We can thrive with frequency, all of us, regardless of the type of runner you are. All right, I'm going to get 10 miles in today. 1,000 feet of climb into first climb of Cache Creek this winter. So feels good. I feel great. And I'm going to shut the camera down and bomb down the hill for some good frequency. All right. Peace. And always be a courier. Pass on the message. See you guys.